Hey there, and welcome to part 4 of the Minotaur Berserker. We're getting into this tonight, and I'm already sitting in 2 rooms, which is pretty insane for starting out on part 4. And the next step on the plate I was thinking about was going into depths, have a look how we will go through this, and judging from the outcome of this situation, I'm gonna see if I'll need to swap over to the Elven Halls to level up some. Alright, so we have our welcome party here. I got them here in this corridor because it's kind of like the best thing to do, in my opinion. And yeah, that's good. That's a good start for depths. More often than not, you can get swarmed by armies of enemies down here when you just enter this, but this time we got lucky. Well, for this run, it's very, very important to keep an eye out for enemies with high elemental damage output, because I don't wear many resistances at a time right now, since I'm having this beautiful slaying ring, and I felt like a protection ring would be also pretty nice for a two-handed weapon wielder, so I'm still pretty vulnerable to burst damage. That's something to keep an eye out for, and that's a caustic strike. Well, I don't have Arc Corrode, but there are rings for that. Caustic Strikes are very, very obnoxious fellas because they feature a lot of EV, quite high HP, and acid damage, which will corrode you. That ultimately leads to the point where you will hit less due to the corrosion and get more damage due to the corrosion, but seems like a +9 battle axe of chopping can do the job. I was pretty scared here for a moment. Fire giants in general are some reason to swap over to fire resistance, but not if they're alone. And I feel like I don't need to swap for one enemy. That's not entirely necessary. So this looks rather vaulty to me, and we don't want to have this book. Let's burn that. And there's a golden dragon. So if this guy drops some scales, which he didn't, I'm really considering swapping over to a golden dragon armor later on, because GDA provides you a lot of elemental resistances, and what's that? That's 7 Rakshasa. That means I'm actually facing 3 of them guys. Normally pretty obnoxious, but with an axe. No, it was only 2. Alright. How can 2 put up 7 illusions? Normally they do 3 each. Well, whatever. So with an axe, Rakshasa are only half as annoying as with any other weapon, because you can cleave through all the copies and you don't need to actually determine which ones are real ones. So there's Jorgrun. It's a good moment to pack out the anti-magic battle axe, I'd say, and start killing him. I need to cancel out the petrification. If something petrifies you, you can use a cancellation potion to negate that. And against Jorgrun, you never want to be petrified in front of him. I actually derped out. I should have went for Trock's hand when I faced him. I forgot to use that at this point. Silly me. Not good to be silly at this point. But yeah. Jorgrun, getting petrified in front of Jorgrun is dangerous because he uses Shatter, which deals tremendous amounts of damage if you're actually made out of stone. And let's guess what petrification does, eh? So that's a stone giant and a lich. And they're considerably far away from me. And the lich is already casting some nasty demons. I'm gonna go downstairs and see. Alright, so I went downstairs because the summons of his would expire down there. And I wasn't eager to take a stone giant and possibly some demon with tormenting abilities all at once. That didn't sound like a good idea. Alright, there goes the next Rakshasa. He cloned a dragon. Sneaky. But I expected as much. Alright, so it looks like depth 1 should be auto-explorable now. Okay. I'm a bit shy to go down to Elven Halls due to my lousy elemental resistances, and the mages down there spam a lot of elemental damage, so I don't know if that's, well, how dangerous this will be. So this looks like a vault level to me. I faced that something, yeah. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So this whole level is a vault, and it's pretty fun because it's filled with themed enemies, mainly gargoyles and elementals and ball lightning. And you will find a ton of mutation potions down here, if it's the same layout I was facing the last time. But this hall over there is particularly dangerous. I'm talking about really dangerous. So this Moth of Wrath is pretty concerning over here. Ah, it's a shapeshifter, right. So animated weapons also belong to the pool of possible enemies down here. And I'm gonna ID this ring because I'm a lazy dude. I'm too lazy to put them on my finger at this point. And there's a ring of slaying, no thank you. The crude morning star. If I would opt into a shield, that would be an option, but since that's not gonna happen, I don't care as much. So there's a War Axe of Distortion coming towards me. That's something I want to take seriously. I mean, at this point, getting banished into the Abyss wouldn't be as dangerous, but getting randomly teleported into this could be easily my death. I don't want to get teleported at this point at all. So for every level which features a lot of flying weapons, always keep an eye out for distortion branded ones, because they're really kicking ass. I can't put it in different words, because distortion branded weapons can screw you up in many different ways, like teleporting you into areas you don't want to be at all. That's the major problem with these. So I'm getting closer to this to this hallway there, and this is where stuff will get interesting. I'm gonna dig through here, because yeah, like I said, mutation potions all over the place, and this looks also like a possible pocket here. So let's dig through this too, but no, it's on the lava river. All right. All these interspersed crystal tiles here are one of the major indicators of this vault level. So let's have a look at this. You'll be greeted by an army of ball lightnings and lots of elemental enemies. This hallway here is your best friend to fight this situation. There's a lot of wind dragons too here, which make the job kinda annoying. But getting trapped out there in the open with all these air elementals and their new vortex ability, which right now only appears in Trunk, and the other version it doesn't exist, but I do like that. Gives them a lot more individuality. And there's the first Shrike, so I'm gonna put up a Trox hand for the regen and carefully carve through this. Alright. So turns out I'm pretty good at hitting them. Not every character is good at hitting caustic strikes like that, but I guess that's what you get if you're running plus 16 slaying. Alright, so the first onslaught is over, but don't go recklessly into there. Shout a bit and fall back again, because there's still a lot of nasty stuff in there. So best strategy to do this is to get up front here and start shouting, and then fall back if you get a few enemies. Last time I did it, I went into the fortress here too quickly, and I almost died due to the air elementals, and some friggin' air elementalists in there. which was not too cool. So there's another thing here. There's obsidian statues here, sitting at some corner points, and obsidian statues are demon summoning statues. That's basically the gist of it. And they can mesmerize you, like, kind of like the merfolk in the shoals, which forces you to move towards them. So always be careful about when to go or not to go for the statues here, especially obsidian statues, because chances are you're not going to get away if your magic resistance is not high enough and you're getting a lot of demons spammed in your face. So let's shout here and fall back. The new synergy between the... What did that rat do here? Between the air elementals and the Spriggan air elementalists is kind of insane, because Spriggan air elementalists use airstrike, and the new vortex ability from the air elementals puts you into flight temporarily, so you will get smacked hard by the airstrikes of the Spriggan air elementalists. So that's why you don't want to stand in an open area like that with a lot of air elementals and Spriggan air elementalists clumped together. Alright, so enough of that talk. Let's get into this. I feel like I killed enough from this area to get closer, but there's an glowing orange brain I can't reach properly, so I'm gonna start firing ice blasts into this. Do some AoE and get rid of the summoner. Summoning enemies are always particularly dangerous, so there's this blizzard demon. I feel like it's time to opt into cold resistance for now. Alright, so I fell back enough. And look at that damage here. They're beating me up pretty hard. It's only 2 enemies doing all this damage. That's another thing if you're running two-handed weapons. You're dealing tremendous amounts of damage, but you're likewise very, very vulnerable compared to any build featuring shield usage. It's very important to be aware of, because, yeah, you can splat yourself pretty easily if you're not paying enough respect to the fact that you're not having a shield to negate attacks. And that's how I blew up my the most of my dual-handed weapon users before I got aware of the fact that you have to play properly around this. So there we are. There's a nice helmet I can't use because I'm a Minotaur. These horns won't fit. So overall, this level is pretty fun. I like it. I always love themed floors. But in general, I feel like it's a little unrewarding compared to the danger you face. But, well. So there's an orange statue. These are also summoners with shadow creatures. And they work kind of similar to the obsidian statues, only with shadow creatures, basically. It's not entirely true, but you can compare them to each other. So that's a artifact greatsword here. Nothing I'm too interested in. And there's some artifact rings, so let's have a look at that. Do I have any source of scene visible so far? I can't see this. Alright, so this thing's not interesting at all, sadly. So let's ID the other one. That's invisibility, which is pretty cool overall, but I don't feel like this character really needs a source of invisibility. Alright, that's depth 2 done. Let's get into 3. Wow, what a nice welcoming. So we're gonna go upstairs and punch Asterion into the dust. Asterion is... whoops, I didn't want to swap here. Wrong button. Asterion is a high-level Macleth follower and able to summon greater demons. That's pretty much the biggest threat from him, apart from being a beefy Minotaur. So I want to get down here one more time. So there's the Enchantress too. Ooh, that's some nasty chances of doing debilitating stuff to me. So I'm not gonna take this staircase again. This is too ballsy to get surrounded like that next to an enemy which can potentially paralyze and confuse and debilitate me in many different ways. So it's not the kind of corner I want to take for this fight. Also, one very important piece of advice: use the different staircases every dungeon level provides. It will help you a lot. So there's Saint Roka. Pretty late appearance from the orcish dude here. So I'm gonna go upstairs for now. Heal up some because I got some beating. And I don't want to get randomly killed by this situation. So there's enough sorcerers around me that I'm willing to put up Trock's hand, and now I'm gonna go upstairs because there's a flayed ghost around that corner. Ooh, spicy. So look at that. All the damage you get if you're wielding a two-handed weapon. You deal a lot of damage, you take a lot of damage. That's basically how two-handed weapons work. Bit more of a ballsy move here would have been to just summon brothers in arms like a crazy guy and let berserking dudes take care of this mess. But I tend to get uncautious if I do that. So Flayed Ghost is wrecking me up. I feel like I can do this fight here though. So let's get upstairs again. I want to avoid to get too much flaying stacks from this ghost, because they take a moment to expire once you're upstairs again, and they decrease your maximum HP by a lot. So let's get upstairs and get rid of Saint Roka. Saint Roka is basically only a stronger version of a orc warlord in my opinion. It's definitely something to take care of. Oh, there's another point about Saint Roka. It's basically like a smiting orc warlord. Look at that damage. Getting beaten up so hard. So I'm gonna bring up a brother in arms right now because I'm a little bit scared of the situation right now. I wanted to have another target which the enemies can potentially attack. So the Enchantress wandered over to this staircase. That's why I'm going to take the other staircase now. I want to be as far away as possible from this Spriggan pack as long as I can. Oh boys, this Lich is really... Did you see that Brimstone Fiend he summoned? This thing can torment you through the grates here, if I'm not wrong. So this is really annoying. Got paralyzed. That's pretty concerning. So let's get upstairs again. Put up the Trock's hand and start slaughtering. Spicy eye. I already saw me dying there, so let's put up the region. And I want to dig through this grate and get rid of this Lich here. There we go. Okay, so that was one of the depth levels I was talking about before as I went into depths 1. Sometimes you get greeted by such a terrible amount of stuff depths can do. So I feel like it's overall time to opt into something different as soon as I'm done with depths 3 here. Let's burn all those spellbooks. Trock doesn't want spellbooks. Alright. So there's a Spriggan Defender. Is this a sign of the Enchantress hanging around here close and nearby? I don't know yet. So there's Spriggan Air Mages and Spriggan Riders. And another defender. Flash Tang of Speed, that's a good one. Alright, another helmet. Engines are really no problem at all. But for wizards, I really recommend putting on Trox Hand if you're running a low MR like I do here. Because this character is actually really badly equipped in terms of resistances. So here I'm gonna put up the Brother in Arms immediately because I want to have somebody wrecking up this Enchantress. And okay, that worked out better than I expected. She immediately confused my troll there and he stumbled around. That's the kind of help I was expecting from a Brother in Arms. Like, not. Alright. So I got rid of all dangerous uniques I noticed when I entered this floor, so that's good. Oh, my inventory is full again. What am I gonna drop here? I can drop these ones of flame. They've exhausted their use. Down here I won't be able to kill anything at all with these flame ones, and if I need to do some ranged damage with a wand, I prefer Ice Blast over Flame at this point of the game. Guaranteed hits, you know. While a Wand of Flame can still miss, which is not good. Book of Ice. Javelins of Penetration would be actually a good thing to use, but I'm too lazy for that. So, I don't think these gloves are well. RF++, no thanks. I mean, that's certainly useful, considering that I have to deal with Orbs of Fire at some point. But right now, I'm not too interested to take these. Shadow Demons, take these guys seriously. They're basically the boggarts of the Demon Realm. They summon a lot of stuff in your face, and they can summon a lot of really dangerous demons too, so... Ooh, that's teleportitis on this ring. Nobody wants that. Alright, that's depth 3. I feel like I want to opt into Elven Halls at this point, at least a little bit. So, that's an artifact. Anti-magic battle axe. Let's have a look-see at that. +1. Epic. Don't get me wrong here, I feel like artifact weapons are more often than not worse than enchantable weapons. Because I feel like this is the most important part of a weapon if you're relying on a weapon to kill stuff. If you're relying on spellcasting, the whole world looks differently, and artifact weapons are a lot more interesting than enchanted weapons. So there is a new Executioner's Axe. That's an anti-magic one. Oh well, I'm not at the level of axes I want to be right now to use an Executioner's Axe, but I just noticed that I should be training some armor too here. Don't know why this was turned off. There's a pair of glowing boots. I'm wearing only normal boots, so these might be actually good for me. That's +1. Well, 1 AC for nothing. That's okay. I'll take that. Boots of Running would have been a lot better though, but you can't have everything, I suppose. So for melee characters, that's what I wanted to finish here. Artifact armors are in general more interesting than artifact weapons. I mean, if you get lucky and pull up a +9 artifact battle axe or something like that, alright, go for it, it's cool. But from my experiences, these thingies don't spawn often enough to rely on them. So in most scenarios, you're better off picking up something like this battle axe, put a Scroll of Brand weapon on it, or find a battle axe with a good brand and spam those enchant weapon scrolls on it. A battle axe is a weapon to finish the game with, even without this insane slaying bonus this character features. I mean, that's absolutely bonkers. I didn't expect that to happen. So there's an Annihilator. I gotta take that seriously. So when I step around this corner here, I force them to walk into my face before taking any other action. And I can do short work with mages in my face. That's for sure. Swapping into the enchanted, into the anti-magic weapon would be also an option here. in general. But I feel like I kill these people so damn quickly that I don't really need to go for anti-magic. So I'm spamming my tomahawks here because I want to bring up as much damage as possible into a annihilator as quickly as possible, especially. And let's go for some range attacks on this mages here too. This is a very obnoxious starting layout for Elf 2. I don't like big open spaces on Elf, especially if my resistances are that bad. So look at this. So that's Arlac and RF and RC. Well, I'm gonna only buy this one for now. Yeah, that solves my problems. And I feel like I'm gonna put this on immediately and drop the cold resistance ring. I feel a lot better with this. Yeah, that's just my type. My MR is really shitty, so it's damn important to spam the truck's hand whenever something dangerous with something dangerous attacking my magic resistance shows up, which will eventually happen down here. But yeah, I'm not too concerned at all, to be quite honest. Even like if I get banished at this point, I could actually just think about picking up the Abyssal Rune as my third rune instead of the Vaults rune. I feel like this character is definitely strong enough to do so, and especially Trog is very, very powerful down in the Abyss. So maybe we're gonna do an Abyss rune here. I don't know yet. So that's Elf 2. Elf 3 feels a bit dangerous, quite honestly. So let's magic map this, because you don't want to blunder into this area blindly. So let's exclude that, so I can keep auto-exploring. This exclusion is mainly used to make auto-exploring more easily. That's kind of like everything I do here. So, let's see. So this looks a lot better than the last time I was looking on these. Because the first point of an elemental resistance is in fact one of the most important. Because the first point gives you 50% damage reduction of the elemental type, which is really cool. The second one increases this to 33% or 66% damage reduction, and the third point increases it to 75% damage reduction. As you can see, you will get diminishing returns for the extra pips of resistance, while the first one is the strongest one. It's pretty important to know, in my opinion. So if you're having 1 pip of resistance, you're most likely at a good spot to fight stuff of the chosen elemental type. And if you're having some potion of resistance on you, it's getting even better. So I feel like this trove showed me that we're gonna do an Abyssal Rune on this run, because it wants the Abyssal Rune to function. And yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. I didn't find... Yeah, on depth 3 there's an access to the Abyss. I'm gonna delay the last part of the Elven Halls for a moment, because I feel like I'm gonna do the Abyssal Rune now, pick up that trove, and then we're gonna clear up the rest of Elf, and then I feel like we're good to go for the end game. So where's the entrance? I overlooked it several times, didn't I? So there's the ziggurat. Can I get it like this? Yeah. So, hey there. You want to drop some scales for me? No, sadly. Sadly, no. Okay, so let's go into the Abyss. Abyss is pretty dangerous in general, but also pretty generous on the other side, because in the Abyss you can find potentially endless amounts of supplies. But the Abyssal Rune can only drop on Abyss 3 or deeper. The deeper you get into the Abyss, the higher the enemy spawn rate gets. So I tend to be a chicken and pick up the Abyssal Rune on Abyss 3, even if it takes a little bit longer. But the monster spawn rate and depth 3 and deeper, Abyss 3 and deeper gets really troublesome. And this looks already like a very good thing. When you're down in Abyss, you're looking for some regular shape for the rune to show up. Sometimes it's just a vault like this little thingy here, but the Abyssal Rune will also be spawned in a vault. So you're looking for signs of order in this endless scope of randomness to find the rune. That's basically how this works. There's a way out of here, and I mentioned before that Trog is very good in the Abyss, mainly because you're having the Trog's hand available, which lets you regenerate for free, because all you need is some piety, and you regain piety from killing, and killing is something you do a lot down here. So there's an Ancient Lich. Let's go into Trog's hand, and I'm gonna immediately drop a Brother in Arms too, because I feel like I can kill this guy pretty quickly. But if he's actually able to debilitate me, paralyze me, or anything like that, there's still a berserking troll around him, whacking him up. That's basically the idea. Because in terms of danger rating, there are not many things that in game that are more dangerous than an Ancient Lich. Always keep that in mind. There's these these torment spheres. They're also pretty dangerous. So at this point I took a lot of damage. I'm just gonna keep Trog's hand permanently running until I'm up alive enough again, because I can't afford that well down here to just stand around somewhere and wait to regenerate. That's only forcing an army upon you, and more often than not, if you try that down in the Abyss, what will happen is that you're getting swarmed by armies you're not wearing down quickly enough, and at some point you will die from that. So that's why it's pretty important to not go too deep into the Abyss. I feel like this character could definitely do Abyss 4. With this amount of damage I'm dealing, I feel like I could well be able to destroy all the stuff down here. So I got malmutated by this Shining Eye. My magic capacity is low, but that's really nothing I care too much about. While exploring the Abyss, I like to go in the most time the same direction. In this scenario, going south. There's a scroll of ancient armor. So right now I have 12 scrolls of ancient armor on me. So if I happen to run into a gold dragon scale, definitely opt into that, because I don't need 16 slaying to finish the game. That's... If I was a spellcaster, that would be like, I really need that level 9 Firestorm to win the game. No, you don't need that. Level 7 Orb of Destruction is also good enough to do the job, and that's kind of like the difference between 16 or 11 slaying. And some gold dragon scales would make this character a lot more robust. So this can take a while if you're down here in Abyss. Sometimes you get the rune freaking quickly, and it's kind of like a joke. You go in there and you have the rune already, kind of like. And sometimes you stumble around here for ages and nothing appears, nothing happens, and there's another hive situation. Maybe this will be the rune, who knows. I don't know all the layouts of rune vaults down here in the Abyss, but I definitely want to have the Trog's hand running at this point. I mean, that's really weird too. Yeah, there we are. This beehive was the Abyssal Rune Vault. That's what I was talking about. You're looking for irregularities, which are somehow built like in an order and in a shape, and that's giving you the idea. So here we can use some ambrosia to regen up super quickly. Using Truck's Hand and ambrosia patches you up really quickly. Ambrosia potions are really good in the Abyss, in my opinion, that is. So, next step will be to find a way out of here. If you manage to grab up the Abyssal Rune, the timer spawning escape routes gets shorter, which means staircases out of the Abyss will spawn more often once you carry the Abyssal Rune around. So that's basically what we're hoping for now, while just running around here and killing stuff. Potentially you can grab up as much XP and loot as you want down here, and that's something worth noting of, because like I could also fix my equipment problem here in the Abyss by scumming this area like forever until I have what I need. That's something, sometimes it's really good to do that. But you gotta be really comfortable with the Abyss in general, and not every character has that feat. Regenerative abilities and tons of teleportation scrolls are way to go. So before we enter this vault of this treasure trove, I'm gonna drop a lot of stuff to free up some inventory slots, and there we go. These locks don't use up the rune. Don't be afraid to. They just show me the rune end. So that's a book. Yeah, right. Manual of staves. Not interested. It's a book vault. For a truck follower, well, I have 2 scrolls of acquirement now, which is pretty sick. But apart from that, this was kind of a letdown. Alright. But you never know what you'll get if you're running into a trove. Let's read those acquirement scrolls. I can pick up some more armor. Ooh, inventory's full. How's that? I have scrolls of noise on me. I don't need those. So that's a pair of boots of flying. That's also pretty decent. I like those. Let's enchant them up. And let's see what the other acquirement scroll can provide. A scarf. Okay. I'm gonna ID that because artifact items tend to be able to have bad stats here. So interesting. Interesting enough to change that. No. It's only our poise this thing really provides. And at this point of the game, our poise is not as important anymore. So, alright. For this area, I'm gonna dig here and here to have some fallback corners. And here I want to have the Truck's Hand basically permanently running, because there are a lot of people down here which can hex you, and that's nothing you want to see happening here. So there's a demonologist. He already spammed a lot of stuff. Corners like these, again, force the mages into your face without taking too much action. It's always the same strategy, called kill-holing. And he summoned a Brimstone Fiend. It's a very good show of why I don't like demonologists at all. Not too many summoners in the game can summon fiends. Every summoner which is able to summon fiends is always very, very dangerous. Keep that in mind. Fiends are brutal demons. Kind of like the worst you can meet down here. So let's... I actually forgot the Truck's Hand. Whoopsie. That was silly. Blade Masters are okay, but you gotta be careful about which weapons they wield. It's really important to keep an eye out for their weaponry. If you have a Blade Master with 2 rapiers of electrocution in your face, that can hurt a lot. Or if you're a demon spawn and... oh god, a beast. I was thinking like I should put up Trog's hand. So War at Abyss 4. A lot more dangerous than Abyss 3. Yeah. Let's go there. Ah, there's the upstairs again. If you're a demon spawn, you gotta be careful about any source of holy wrath. That's what I wanted to say before I got banished here. So I found a new ring. Let's ID that. I don't like to randomly equip artifact rings at all. It's a good one actually, apart from this -3 strength. Because artifact rings can provide very, very serious side effects when put off or something like that. In general, artifacts can be pretty dangerous randomly equipping from time to time. Alright, so that's L3 almost done. Kiting these annihilators around the corner because I don't want to have more than one at a time in my line of sight. While they're standing behind each other, it's only one guy being able to cast spells. He's blinking around. Do you think that will make you safe from me? No, not at all. Alright, so did I already find an Amulet of Harm? No, I didn't. Alright, let's ID that. I don't want to get harm drained here. Hey, there we go. Why is it red? Does Trog somehow dislike drain harm amulets? I don't know. So there's another ring. I could just equip ID that, but I'm lazy. Let's burn the books. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here, but this character is already so insanely well equipped here. Well, I only need more and better resistances, to be quite honest, so didn't show up, no problem. I feel like I'm properly equipped to go for the rest of the game. That's not a biggie. So we got 3 runes, and let's get into the Depths 4. And I feel like the rest of this episode I'm gonna try to clear out the rest of Depths. And if that works, and I'm not dying for some weird reason, I'm gonna cover up Zod on the last episode, which will be, if everything turns out fine, I'm not too sure yet, which will be a win in 5 episodes. 6 tops. That's pretty sick. Alright. This character would have been strong enough to clear out the Vaults 5 too, but generally, well, if I can avoid to do V5, I'm actually okay with that. So there's Frederick. He's pretty dangerous. Demigod, hybrid mage character. So we're gonna put up the Trog's hand and pop a Scroll of Silence, because that will get rid of all his obnoxious spellcasting. That's that. Double Sword of Slicing. Alright. Sometimes I feel like double and triple swords are kind of like the most rare weapons in the game. And I don't need those potions of flight anymore. Ain't that nice? Alright. So I feel like the biggest problem here will be in the late game the squishiness of my build, considering that I only have HP and no shield. And this looks like a big vault to me here. This area, this door, we're gonna exclude for now. I don't want to open that by accident right now. I want to clear out the rest of the floor before I open that door. Especially down here in the depths, vaults are particularly deadly. Really. depth vaults are something to be taken damn seriously. They include big loot, kind of like every time, but also big threats, big threats. Talking about ancient liches, golden dragons, juggernauts, caustic shrikes, titans, whatever you can imagine. There's a Lugonu altar. These are pretty rare in the basic game. So let's see what will happen when we open that door. I'm gonna put up the Trog's hand immediately, just in case. Alright, so nothing actually happens. Alright, first room wasn't too dangerous, obviously. So this water channel could be pretty obnoxious if you're not flying, but it's actually empty, so... Sometimes vaults can be pretty easy, like this one, so far, but we're not done yet. More often than not, the most dangerous parts are deeper in these walls. This is fun. So there's a few flying weapons and some elf, more money, and a shaft and fire clouds. Alright, so there's kind of like every time a different theme here. So this was more dangerous than the last ones. Now we have an ice-themed floor. Of course. Let's heal up. Put up the Trog's hand. And there's an ancient lich. I want to put up a brother in arms here, just to make sure that this lich dies quickly enough. So that's that. Funny vault, getting more and more dangerous, consisting of a lot of spellcasters. I'm just gonna teleport out of this. I don't want to go down that hatch, because there's no way back if you go down a hatch, especially on depths 5. No thank you. Not interested, not buying. Alright, I'm really looking forward to grab up a GDA here, Gold Dragon Armor, because this will be the cutting edge for this character. And look at that, there's the first Juggernaut. Juggernauts are the biggest and baddest giants the game has to offer, but pretty important things to know about them. They're moving super quick. Oh, well, not super quick, but pretty quick. But they're attacking slow. So they get on top of you pretty quickly, but they won't be attacking as quickly as they're moving, luckily, because they hit like a truck. And apart from that, they're just the regular, everyday, normal giant. Tons of HP, tons of hitting power on every swing. No special abilities. So this looks like the same area like before. Somehow. Vampire mages are pretty obnoxious people, summoning a lot of other undead every time. Alright, so this must be the entrance to the lair of Zod. Yeah. Realm of Zod, not lair of Zod. Alright, so we have colors themed rooms containing different draconians. Alright, that's fun. What's the next color I'm getting? White. Alright. That's cool. I feel like in this trunk version a lot of new Zod entrances were added. I'm not sure if I'm just imagining stuff like that, but I've never seen this entrance area before. And on a few other games I've had a similar feeling before. So there's the GDA I was waiting for. Perfect. So as cool as the Slaying +6 Arc Road armor might be I'm wearing, I actually had Arc Road against that Shrike. Totally overlooked that, silly me. I'm preferring the rounded up general resistances this thingy can offer, and since I'm carrying around that many scrolls of enchant armor, let's just enchant the hell out of this thing. So 49 AC now, well-rounded resistances. And there's a rune core. Might as well put it on. Magic resistance, fine, perfect. Exactly what I was missing. Good, very good. Let's enchant that up to +2. And 50 AC, 17 EV. Well, definitely not the best, but also not the worst. There we are. Episode 4 done. I feel like I'm gonna wrap this up here. And we're gonna finish up Zod on the next episode, hopefully. Or Zod will finish us. And yeah, hope you're gonna tune in for the last part. And until then, enjoy your time and see you guys soon. Bye bye.